Okay, there's recording. So now we're going to fill a minute or two.
That sounds like us.
To ensure that it is actually recording.
Yes.
By the way, Sigma's a tank, apparently?
Yes. Shield tank.
Yeah.
Wait, is that the new Overwatch character?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's part of their
See?
crossover with Mega Man X.
Yeah.
See, I know what's going on. I'm hip. I'm happening. Okay, I might have seen a picture on Twitter. It's the only reason I know.
There you go. It's the only reason.
Yep. I'm trying to find something for a prop for... Oh, I know what I'll use. There we go. Yeah, this will be perfect.
Say a glass of wine, maybe? Is that a Mirage instruction book?
It is a Mirage rules booklet. Yes,
Nice.
That's right. Back in the
Oh,
day,
grabbing old stuff?
they would actually include a little
Hold
tiny
on.
rules booklet.
I'll grab my old stuff.
So, beginning a duel.
I like the way that the one of us who is the newest of the three of us playing Magic is the one telling us about old school. I actually have a bunch of those somewhere. Mirage, Ice Age, 4th edition. I might have even had a revised one left over.
Yeah, this one is actually my my wife's. Look at that, right there. The full turn sequence. We got untap, upkeep, draw, main, discard, cleanup.
Okay, wait a minute. If we're getting old Magic-related things, hang on. I got one too, but I don't know
All
where
right,
it is.
well.
Is it here?
Stand by. Batches of effects.
Yeah, there it is.
Or on target.
Oh, crap.
Topical.
Check this out. Deep Magic, advanced strategies for the, I can't read that backwards, experienced players of Magic the Gathering. A friend of mine found this in a, like an Ed McKay's or something, and
Nice.
yeah. Oh, look at Squee.
It is.
Okay, so is this what we're doing then?
This is
think
what we're
so.
doing. Yep. We're reading old rules.
All right, are you just gonna hold up your Squee picture?
Yeah, might as
Okay,
well.
fair
It's got my
enough.
name on it.
Okay, so everybody posing?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Ah, that's probably good.
Right.
So here's the real problem. I'm old and I can't read with something that close to my face anymore.
No, Brian, it is not
Banding?
actually a crossover with Mega Man X, by the way. Bill was being silly.
I do that.
Banding is an ability with two distinct features. The first
It's
feature
got more
allows
than that.
creatures
Cluze.
into band.
Cluze, put the book down.
Okay. I don't
You
know.
stop that literacy right now.
My wife just snuck into the room and she's rummaging in a drawer to find something. I don't know what she's looking for. What you looking for there? Uh-oh.
She was probably looking for not getting called out on the internet.
Well, she's never going to find that now.
Oh, I know what she's trying to dig out. Okay, there it is. Oh, whoops. Sorry.
And that Mirage book is not early enough.
Oh, she's right. That Mirage book is not nearly early enough. Here is her earliest rule book. This
Nope.
one.
This is
from,
what happens when judges get together,
This
everybody.
from
There.
revised?
Tilt
We
it
think this is-
downwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
We think that's from revised. And then here we have her earliest lightning bolt, and is that a beta?
No, it's revised.
That's revised. Okay, beta lightning bolt, signed by Richard Garfield.
Revised.
I'm sorry,
Whiteboard.
revised lightning bolt, signed by Richard Garfield, and he wrote ouch here where the person is getting struck by lightning.
Nice.
Fair enough.
So yeah, thank you. Oh, and here's your tiny rule book back.
Thanks.
No, thank you.
Sorry, couldn't let them think that Mirage was the earliest we had.
Oh no, I understand. There was honor on the line.
Also, original Ice Age.
Ooh, yeah, here we go. Ice Age Jester's cap.
All right.
Anybody?
Okay, we got to start the actual show.
Okay, I'm sorry. We apparently we have to start the show. Professionalism
Allegedly.
or something. I
I mean,
don't
we're already
know.
like half an hour past the start time, you know.
It comes as news to me,
I
honestly.
brought you what
I mean, here we are in episode 661, which I'm like 300 episodes deep at this point, and it's the first I've heard of it.
Would you
So
like brochure? sure for UK Magic Nationals?
No, I
96?
think we're good. Thank you, though.
I'll let
Thank you,
start
though.
the show.
Okay, I'm sorry. Where were we? Yep. Yeah.
Hi,
Can you
Jen.
lean in a little bit. There we go. There we go. Wave. All right. See, you need to tell all the people who are not Patreons that they're missing out on, or patrons, I'm sorry, on Patreon, that they're missing out on all of the wonderful and delightful shenanigans that occur.
They're
right.
exactly like this in real life too.
They are,
Yeah, we really are.
Okay, so let us have a moment of silence so I'll know where to cut, and then we'll go. Ow, jam! Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another something or other filled episode of Monday Night Magic here on
Nougat.
twitch.tv/themanipool as I ignore whatever Cluze is saying and just soldier on with the intro. This is episode 661 of Monday Night Magic. Good lord. I am Chewie. You can tell because it says Chewie under my name. If you're watching this on video, if you're just listening audio-wise, you'll just have to take my word for it. All right. So over there, in the middle, stuck in the middle, with you, is Squee.
True. I am here.
I have no idea if I'm pointing the right direction.
You're not.
You are definitely not. And then the
You're
one that's
pointing at
over
your
there on
microphone.
the other side, pointing in now the proper direction, is Cluze.
Hey, how y'all doing? Did I use y'all right there in a sentence? I don't know. I'm from the north.
How y'all? Yes, you did.
All right, excellent. Fantastic. I can blend in.
Now what we need you to do is conjugate y'all.
It's y'all, y'alls, all y'alls, I think.
That works for me. Can you
Okay.
conjugate nouns?
We just did.
Okay.
All right.
I don't think you're gonna follow any rules when you start with y'all.
That is also accurate. All right. So, apologies. Oh, that sound you heard was my elbow. Apologies for it being Tuesday, but
No, you just stop there. Just
yeah,
stop
apologies for
there.
it being Tuesday.
We are so sorry that it's Tuesday.
We were aiming for Friday. We would have accepted Thursday, but it turned out it was only Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bison rules are in effect.
M. Bison?
And Bison.
But for Bison, it was a Tuesday. All right, so we have to start this episode with a follow-up from last week. We talked about the alleged cat clicking thing on Magic Arena, and it turns out this is real. And do what?
I mean, we're following it up with an article from the same source, so...
Oh, there are links to the forums in here.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
Carry on.
At least I think there was. But apparently, the WotC community manager, who is never named in this article...
Is it you?
No. But the WotC community manager responded on the Magic Arena forums saying that, yes, we were handing out 5-day bans for people that clicked on the cat a lot, but you had to click on the cat a lot, like a lot, over the course of many games, and then we send you a 5-day ban. This is not like, oh, when I get bored, I click on the cat a couple times. No. The community manager even said only about 50 people were suspended and only for 5 days. The people who were suspended were clicking the cat over 150 per minute, and it was constant. There were thousands of clicks per game. It wasn't a one-time thing either. This was over multiple matches. If you've just been absent-mindedly clicking the cat, you won't get in trouble.
It's kind of a you know what you were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of clicks.
Like, even if you get bored and you click on things, you're probably not going to do it that much. And if you've noticed it does crash people out once, you'd probably stop. So this happening over multiple games is problematic. And they're like, yeah, 5-day ban. Bam.
Now, the problem with this is that WotC didn't tell anyone this was a problem.
Yeah.
Whoa, Chewie. I'm sorry. Are you implying that WotC didn't communicate something sufficiently?
Yeah.
All right. I'm shocked. It's a good thing I'm sitting down.
It is a good thing you're sitting down, otherwise we'd only be looking at you like your crotch instead of your face. So I appreciate
Nobody
you
wants
sitting
that.
down.
And
That's
besides
a
which,
different night
yeah,
magic.
that is a different night magic and a different tier on Patreon.
No.
The gutter tier.
But like I like that the player who initially posted their concerns on the MTGA forums didn't like it. It should not matter if you ran the numbers or not, the player responded. You sold us a product, didn't warn us it had a flaw, and then started banning people for using something they paid for. Which, okay, but you were using it to crash your opponent's games so you would get free wins. So maybe you should shut your stupid face hole.
This is kind of like how there are glitches in Magic Online, and they're problematic, but when it becomes clear that you're taking advantage of a glitch to, win, or cause your opponent to lose, or just do something you're not supposed to, then it becomes cheating. That's
Yeah,
what this is.
It's vital that everyone remember what we refer to as rule number 2. Since rule number 1 is no dying, rule number 2 is Wheaton's Law, don't be a dick.
Yeah. But of course, I mean, they were caught doing something wrong and punished for it. So of course they have to complain about it publicly. And of course, freaking .esports, this garbage website, is going to report on it. But this is totally a thing, which is why we're following up on it. This is real. So, yeah. Don't obsessively click your cat 150 times per minute, thousands of clicks per game, over multiple games. Just don't do that, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, I believe you should have the ability to not do that. Like, if you're having trouble with it, might I recommend downloading a picture of the cat and putting it in a different window and clicking on that if it makes you feel better?
I'm sure you could get an animated GIF of the cat doing its thing, and then you don't even have to click. You could just look at it.
Yeah. Or you could, poke a real cat 1,000 times and see what happens to you.
Yeah, I don't recommend that.
Yeah.
I don't either, but you wouldn't do that in real life. Why would you do it to a virtual cat?
I actually went to the Humane Society this weekend and spent some time with some cats.
Well, did you click them 1,000 times?
Goodness, no, cats hate
Well,
that.
then, see? Don't do that.
Okay, then. So there you go. That's just to follow up to a thing we talked about last week. It is totally a thing, but apparently you have to abuse the hell out of it to actually get suspended, and thus far only around 50 have done so, at least as of the time that this was updated on 7/18. It is now 7/23.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we good? We good.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so now the big news for the week.
Yes.
Magic did their panel at San Diego Comic-Con and revealed a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Many, many things.
Yeah, they're things with a capital T. And then immediately after that, an article went up on the website that explains a bunch of stuff.
Yay.
And if you haven't seen this article, you really should. There's a lot of details in it. We're going to hit the highlights. We'll probably not get anything wrong, but we'll see. I mean, it is us, so.
I mean, we're totally going to get it wrong.
We're going to give you links. We are simply introducing.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So, first up, the October set is Throne of Eldraine.
Yes.
It's, well, here it is. Think Camelot meets Grimm's Fairy Tales.
I'm in.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Let me just start there. We're gonna talk about a number of aspects of this article. There's gonna be some positive stuff. There's gonna be some negative stuff. I want to try to highlight the positive where I can. I love it. Like the concept of this set, fantastic. Totally on board. It's great.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like it could mix my favorite parts of Lorwyn with the same approach that was taken to the Innistrad or Theros sets, where it's like, here's the thing, let's play with it. And I think that that's a fun mixture to have Grimm's Fairy Tales and Arthurian legend playing around.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot to do there.
So one of my favorite little details that they did already, the first things that we saw of this was, I believe, Saturday morning. There were some images that were posted on the social medias of a invitation to Throne of Eldraine when pre-release happens this fall. So they were these flyers that were handed out. And on it, you can see these little fairies who are obviously small because if you look at they're like someone's got a shield that's made out of a button, but one of them has a spear, and the head of the spear is obviously made out of the nib of a fountain pen. And I thought that was amazing because I love fountain pens. So
Here first, everyone. Cluze loves fairies.
just a little. That is not what I said. Just a little detail that I thought was neat. Play red. That is all.
There you go.
Speaking of red, this character here doing her badass Little Red Riding Hood impression is Rowan Kenrith. Remember her?
No.
She's from Battle Bond.
Oh.
Will and Rowan Kenrith, the planeswalkers that had partner with.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So this...
I didn't recognize her till you told me, because when I saw her, I honestly just thought, "Oh, hey, look, it's Celis."
Celis didn't wear red though.
If you told me that
but
there was
like
going
under
to be
that, like the hair and the design looks like her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you told me there was going to be a male and a female character in this set that were on theme and maybe a pairing for Battle Bond, I would have said Hansel and Gretel. So does that mean that Gretel is Little Red Riding Hood? Can we go ahead and confirm that now?
No, we don't confirm things. We just report.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well,
here
then
we
you
see
heard it here first.
a nice picture of a strange woman lying in a pond distributing swords.
Hi, Nimue. How you doing?
Which is exactly how we do government, apparently, in the UK.
These days, yeah.
I appreciate the fact that she's not like a super tiny fairy or anything, but she also doesn't look like a merfolk. Like, the design is very, fey, high fantasy, and that's cool.
Yeah.
And here's hoping there are no merfolk in the set.
That would be a waste.
I have a lot of hopes.
We've got a nice little gingerbread house here.
What could happen?
Yep.
Yeah. There's a lot more images on the Twitter site. The Twitter account, where they tweeted out a bunch of them, but including a gingerbread man running away and Goldilocks looking badass. There's some stuff going on. We didn't see any cards at the SDCC panel. We just saw art and some talk.
Yeah, and I just appreciate the art that we've seen already, because, like I said, the art in Innistrad really set the tone amazingly for the set. And even if you didn't care about the cards, skimming over the art was a lot of fun. And I think this is going to be one of those sets where, even if you're not in the mood to play Magic, you can still look at all the art and maybe even pick up the art book that they'll inevitably release, and that'll be fun.
Yeah. Okay, now, because Rosewater is doing his best to make sure that Magic players are horribly entitled, he's been answering questions on his Tumblr. Will Kenrith is in the set. They're only spending one set here on Eldraine. This is not going to be another Ravnica where we spend 3 sets here. What were the other dumb questions?
Will this kill Magic? No,
of
that's
course.
the
Everything
leader's-
always kills Magic all the time.
Although, as Rosewater does point out occasionally, his track record at actually killing Magic is really bad.
It is. It's the worst. There was some other really dumb question that was answered, but I can't remember what it is. But rest assured, if you've asked a dumb question, Rosewater possibly answered it already, because for some reason he wants Magic players to be entitled. I don't know. But oddly enough, while this is big news, this is not the only big news to come out of the SDCC panel.
This isn't even the biggest news, I think.
So this. Okay, so you see. Whoa. Hello, highlight. Do you see this right here?
No.
Part 2. Why we're doing something new. Last year, Wizards of the Coast went through a reorganization. We shifted to what is known as a studio model, where teams are built around supporting a particular product. This bypassed me when I was skimming over this the first time. The team you all know of as R&D, along with a few other sections of the company, including art design and production folks, were combined to become the studio for tabletop Magic, aka the game played with the physical cards. There are different studios associated with other aspects of Magic, such as digital games and franchise. The people overseeing the new Netflix series, for instance. So Bill saw this and went,
It clarifies a lot of the questions that I had around, let's say, November, December, when I was really confused about what was going on. Because as we all observed on the show and just in general, WotC shifted gears in a lot of areas and didn't tell us much, and communication has not flowed nearly as much since then. And there was a lot of what's going on with organized play, what's going on with, for a while there, like even I was like, maybe not paper Magic, like not really like now, but just like seeing a lot of signs that they were greatly shifting their focus towards the digital component. And it sort of makes more sense now, because when you shift to a studio model like that, the people that traditionally would have thrown a lot of information at us were suddenly in a position where they weren't supposed to. Back when you had the R&D breakdown with all the website and the art and everything, like it was all like one big thing, and all of Magic was Magic. And there were some people certainly working on digital and some people in roles, but they were all one big group. And so it was way easier for them to share information with each other and then decide, yeah, okay, we can talk about that online. That's cool. But when you shift into studio mode, well, like noted here, all of the groups that we generally thought of as making Magic before, outside of digital, are separate from digital. And franchise being a third group, which is obviously leveraging everything, like they use the Netflix series here, but I would wager that's also why you're getting, comic books popping up. That's why you're going to continue to see more things online in terms of any kind of like highly visual marketing. I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to get like more pop figures eventually. Like they haven't announced that, but that's kind of what you do when you have franchise building. A lot more merch will come out of it and a lot of cross promotion. So we'll probably see more of that now that there's a group that's, dedicated to building their brand and leveraging it that way. This works out great for people like me who don't really play as much as we used to, but we still are interested by the world and setting. But it does mean that we're going to get a lot less out of like Rosewater and the people that work directly on the cards, because they're just working on paper now. They're not building for everything. They're building for paper, and it's someone else's job to adapt that into digital or adapt that into other stuff. So when there's less overall communication internally, which I'm assuming, I mean, I'm sure if you ask them, they'd be like, no, we're talking all the time, because they probably got meetings and whatnot as before. But when your job is very strictly, this is your product and this is what you do, you're probably going to focus on that product because that's what you're getting paid to do. And that probably means like we will get less information. Like you'll note that none of these three groups is associated directly with organized play. I mean, technically organized play would be paper the way we thought of it before, but they've intermingled paper and arena for the purposes of qualifying for events and things like that too. So there's probably a lot of crossing going on among likely a more dedicated niche thing or people pulled from multiple groups. So communication's probably just going to be sloppier until they figure this out. Like whenever there's a reorg, everyone stops talking and it gets messy. And generally you don't announce you're doing a reorg because ideally seamless. But like now that I get that and I understand what's going on, this makes way more sense and I'm less nervous about it, because it just means that a lot of the problems that we might have seen for the last year were likely transition hiccups, and we just didn't realize it till now. So this is actually a good thing. Yeah.
Have you ever been through a reorganization at work?
Several times.
Yeah. So he's speaking from experience.
Yeah, they're not bad, by the way. Like, people groan about them if you hear about them and you've never been in one. Like, they're miserable at the time because you don't know your role, you don't know what's going on. And like, even the most veteran and experienced companies that have a total plan from the beginning, you're going to come up with, twists. Things will happen that you have to get figured out. And there's just a lot of bureaucracy while you're doing it because people are building new rules and figuring out roles. And there's just always going to be hiccups. But usually when you do these, they're for a purpose. And when you pop out of it, it was, generally speaking, better for the company overall once you get there. So having the Magic people focus on tabletop means good things for those of us who care about paper Magic. But when it comes to people who, are more interested in these other things, like, again, I'm ecstatic that they have a franchise team. So I think this is going to be great for me because I'm way more interested in seeing what you can do with the world and the setting than I am in actually buying even more Magic cards and playing every week. And
I personally can't wait for the movie.
I mean, sure. As long as there are no weigh-ins in it, we're good.
We can't promise that.
I mean, who could? But yes, I am the dork is correct in the chat. Like, for me, a reorg is usually shuffling the deck, but sometimes it's also running off to the command zone because I hang out there sometimes. But, reorging your cards is important. You have to completely randomly reorg your cards, otherwise you're cheating, and that's not okay.
And remember, it takes 7 riffle shuffles to sufficiently randomize your deck.
Yeah, otherwise it's not a reorg, it's just a siloing, and that's called cheating. So don't do that.
That's right. Do not, under any circumstances, pile reorg.
Never do that.
But yeah, you'll notice this says last year, Wizards of the Coast went through a reorganization. And I'm wondering when last year, because we really started to feel the what in the blue hell is Wizards doing about, I want to say, like, late October?
I'm going to say October. Like, straight up. I'm fairly confident it was around October. Odds are it was actually started sooner than that, but because they already build stuff so far out in advance, we didn't notice. But that was when they started being like, oh, we're not doing this event, or we're moving it to that time, or we're not going to announce certain sets and certain plot lines and certain whatnots immediately. Like, I think it was around then. And they tend to last for, like, I'd wager even in the most, put together companies, probably 4 to 6 months. So they probably figured that all out by now, but because everything in WotC is delayed, we just are still getting some of the hiccups from it.
Hopefully.
But yeah, so that was something that just stood out to me while scrolling in. Like, it's obviously not the focus of his article, but to my knowledge, they'd never announced they were doing this before, so this was fun and insightful for me.
Yeah. So, okay. But as for what they're doing, well, the name of this article is Project Booster Fun, which
It is
dumb, but whatever.
It sounds like a thing a doctor would tell a child before giving them a shot.
okay.
And then the child hates them.
I want to be clear. Here's something that I want people to keep in mind as we talk about the changes that are coming. Okay. The thing that they say in this article is that during that reorg, the folks in the tabletop team came up with the following question, and it's here in this article: how can we make tabletop Magic even better? Okay, that was their goal. And the answer they came up with is two-pronged, and the two prongs are surprise and agency. So I want you to keep those two things in the back of your mind as we talk about these changes, and ask yourself if these were, I'm not going to say the best answers to that question, how can we make tabletop Magic even better? Because the answer to that question is going to be different for every person. There's no way to be 100% crystal clear at the beginning. There is no way to make every Magic player happy at the same time. So keep that in mind.
Yes, that is literally not possible.
And we as a collective have not really talked in depth about these changes yet. So you're going to get some genuine responses and some genuine debate from us tonight as well. But to be clear, the question was, how can we make Magic even better? And these are the answers that they came up with.
Yeah.
Okay.
So surprise and
Go ahead.
agency. So first up, they upped the foil, and they're calling them foils. It was pointed out in the Discord server that they always call them premium cards.
Yeah.
And in this article, he just straight up calls them foil. I'm wondering if that's because premium cards is going to mean more things in the future.
Ooh,
I'm confident that's what that means.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
So they've upped the foil drop rate, which we talked about from Magic 2020.
Yep.
Which is the first place that happened. But
And so previously, it was 1 in 67 cards were going to be a foil. So you had a 22.5% chance of opening a foil in any given booster. New drop rate is 1 in 45 cards, giving you a 33.4% chance. So basically 1 out of every 3 boosters on average. Be careful, statistics don't work the way you think they do. On average, 1 out of every 3 will have a foil in it. So they've upped that drop rate. And first of all, let me just say, I like it. Okay, that right there, I think that's a good change. I think people like foils. I can speak from experience of attempting to sort my collection that sometimes it's really annoying because some things you got in foils and some you don't. And do you keep the foils? Do you not keep the foils? What constitutes a play set? Are you keeping 5 if you have look, it gets a little crazy. I admit it. It's fine though, but still more foils I think is overall better. However, with the following caveat, can they give us foils that don't curl?
That is a different discussion.
But that's a separate topic for a separate day. But there it is.
more importantly, not just can they give us foils that don't curl, but can they give us cards that don't exist only in foil?
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
I don't know.
As long as we
Nexus
avoid
of
that.
Fate.
Yeah.
And the answer to that, it turns out, spoilers, is yes, but we'll get to that. So, okay, we get to see 3 new treatments of things that are going to be in booster packs of some sort. We've got borderless planeswalkers, like they did in the Mythic Editions.
Mythic Editions, yes.
We've got extended art frames, which apparently this Liliana of the Veil is an extended art frame, not a borderless planeswalker.
I was going to ask you guys about that because I can't quite tell the difference on that particular piece of art if that is extended art frames or borderless planeswalkers. Where you can tell, so take a look at, I assume that they're up on the screen there. I can't actually see the stream right now.
Yes.
If you look at the Noble Hierarch, okay, the extended art is extended left-right, not up-down. The Liliana of the Veil, I believe, is extended left-right, not up-down. But if you scroll back up to the Crap the Mind Sculptor and Karn Scion of Urza, you can see that the artwork goes all the way both up and down, okay? So it's a really subtle distinction between these two things, but it looks like only planeswalkers will ever be, okay, I won't say ever. Currently, only planeswalkers will be the extended both up-down art, and other things can be extended left-right, if that makes sense.
Ooh, it also says, while the rules text is identical, the borderless planeswalkers will have different art from the normal planeswalker cards.
That's another distinction.
And this Lily of the Veil is the original art, so...
Right.
So the art... Oh, here it is. The art on the extended art frames is the same as on the normal versions, just with a different aspect ratio. Okay.
Now, here is a question I'm going to ask. Okay, I'm gonna put it to I don't really want this to be like a topic of debate between us, but I want people to think about this and to consider it. Would you be happy if Magic went to the extended art for all art, period, full stop?
I like it being special.
See, that's the question. And I don't really know the answer to that myself at this time. I think it's neat. I really like it. It reminds me a lot of, for those who play Arena, if you've got the cards, a card style that has that kind of motion to it, it does kind of a similar thing to this extended art idea. I mean, it doesn't move because obviously we're not in Harry Potter here, but still. So is this a thing that needs to be, does it need to stay special, or what if we did this all the time? I don't know. Think about it. Anyway,
This is
carry on.
completely irrelevant to the news.
It is, but look, I just think it's something that I'd like people to consider. So
Fair
think
enough.
about it in your spare time, and there you go. Carry on.
Okay, moving on to the actual stuff to talk about. We've got showcase frames. What? So
Yeah,
this is not a
what?
single thing. This is a special thing that will be different in each set. So, for instance, here is the new frame. This is the badass Goldilocks I was talking about before. This is a new frame that will be for some kind of card in Throne of Eldraine. There we go.
Yes.
I was like, thrones? It's singular. Throne of Eldraine.
Toe.
And
Toe.
yes, thank you. This is what the normal card frame will look like for whatever this new card is. We don't know yet. This is just what the frame looks like. Okay? Nice and simple. Got it? Got it. This is what the showcase frame of that will look like. As you can see, it's way more ornate and storybooky and artsy and busy.
Yeah.
It is quite busier. The key takeaways are the showcasey bit will be set specific. So this particular set is very fairy tale storybooky, so it looks kind of storybooky with some vines all around it. So fairy tale-y, yeah, totally cool. Okay, so it'll be set specific, first of all. Second of all, different art. That can be a thing too. So keep those in mind.
Yeah. On showcase cards, the art and frame will be a new stylized version that plays into the set's theme, which is basically what Cluze just said. Throne of Eldraine specifically has showcase cards at common, uncommon, rare, and mythic. Okay. And all three treatments mentioned above, so borderless planeswalkers, extended art frames, and showcase cards, will exist in foil and non-foil.
So you could have a foil showcase or a foil full art planeswalker. Those things will exist.
Yes.
With prices to match.
So, those are the three new surprise things you can find in boosters.
Buried in there is a fourth, I'm not really going to call it a surprise thing, but a fourth change. If you go all the way back up to the beginning, there is a new frame for tokens.
Which we saw in 2020, so that's not really new.
Yeah, but it bears mentioning because there it is. Okay.
All right. So, that is the surprise part. New stuff to open and go, huh, at. Right? Makes sense? Makes sense.
Right.
So now the agency part. And this is the one that's got people grumbling, but everything always has people grumbling, so whatever. They wanted to give Magic players a little bit more control over what they're opening. Does that sound right?
It does. And I mean, that's really what they're getting at with agency, right? I mean, there was a time when a booster was a booster was a booster, right? You want a booster of Throne of Eldraine? Here's a booster of Throne of Eldraine. We all know what that means. It is a 15 card pack, and it's only 15 because, is it only 15 because we're counting the land? It's not the way that works. Unless it's a weird set where we're replacing the land with something else. Never mind. It's a 15 card pack. It's the thing you know.
Yeah.
Unless you want to go back a long time and it's like an 8 card pack. But still, 15 card pack.
That is now known as a draft booster.
It is. So the thing we knew as a booster is now a draft booster. This is just a name change. Overall, there's nothing to see here. If you are drafting, this is what you're opening. If you are playing sealed, this is what you're opening. If you are buying a booster box, chances are this is what you're opening.
Okay? We're clear. So booster packs, as we know them, are draft boosters. Okay?
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Even if you don't like that filthy draft stuff.
Next up, we have theme boosters. Now, this is not new. We have seen these in the past, most recently with Guilds of Ravnica.
Yep.
Where you could get guild theme boosters. So these are going to be an ongoing thing for now. So this is for players who want to get lots of something specific.
People
Well,
like Cluze who want red cards.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
instance, yeah. So in this case, for Throne of Eldraine, Eldraine. I'm gonna get that right someday. Today's not that day. Here the theme is colors. So back in Guilds of Ravnica, it was guilds, so you could buy like a guild booster. No. Here it's just we're gonna have 5 different ones, one for each of the colors.
Yeah.
And here
here's
it's
the
not gonna be a
example.
15 card pack. It's gonna be a 35 card pack.
Yeah.
So you could go and you could buy the blue pack, and it would have 35 blue cards that you could throw away. Or you could buy the red pack, and it would have 35 red cards that would be worth playing. So it is up to you. Now, as we talk about these things, we haven't actually gotten to the one that's going to be like controversial yet. But here, if we just take a moment and let's just look at who is the target with a draft booster? It's right in the name. People who want to draft, right? That pack is set up with commons and uncommons and rares and balanced in such a way that you have a healthy, theoretically, draft environment. That's what it's for. This thing, the theme booster, this is not a thing you draft with. This is a thing that it is targeted at, and I'm gonna say something here, and I don't mean it to sound mean because that is not what I mean by it. This is targeted at casuals, right? Because if we're going to get to a breakdown a little bit later on as to what's actually in one of these, and it's not like, oh, since it's 35 cards, there's like 5 rares and like 10 uncommons and like 20 commons. No. It's not like that. This is targeted at casual players. And let's be 100% clear and 100% honest with ourselves. The vast majority of people who play Magic are casual players. By numbers. Everything WotC has ever said bears that out. So this is targeted at them. And I think this is a good product for them, right? Because when I open up a booster right now, even myself, and no, I'm not a tournament grinder. That's absolutely fair. But when I open a pack right now, if my rare or mythic is blue, I feel like I was ripped off, like I lost, because that card is useless to me because I will not play that card. But here, I'll play pretty much all the cards that are in it, and that's just fine. Is that a fair way to describe this?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it has the nice effect of, and I'm sure this will probably be a thing when people are inventing new events, but if you want to make a Magic deck, you could buy one of these and grab a whole bunch of the same land, and it may be a giant messy mess, but you could do that, and that could be a fun, more controlled way to play sealed without the rare heaviness too.
Yeah.
But for the most part, yeah, these are focusing on people who just want to get a bunch of commons and uncommons that they can play together. They'll all be in set. They'll all be themed together. It'll be fun.
Yeah. So, are we clear? Okay, moving on.
Yep.
Great.
The last flavor of booster is the collector booster, which is, well, it's aimed at the player who values collecting the cards. The collector boosters will range between $20 and $25 per booster.
Although there's no MSRP.
Yeah, it's depend on your region and where you shop. And it's designed to be the best value if you're prioritizing collecting hard-to-find cards. This gets you more foils, more of the treatments. It's the only booster where you can get the extended art cards. And this is, let's see, only in English and Japanese. There's really not much else to say about this without getting into the nitty-gritty, which is the next section. But this is where all your high-dollar stuff is going to be.
And
This is where your high dollar variants are going to be.
Yeah.
Is, I think, a fair way of saying that. Because as mentioned, the drafting packs are the same packs we've always had that we've always managed to get the cards that we want to play out of. This is the fancy alternative that's going to give you fancier versions of stuff, but you're still not buying singles, so you're still rolling the dice, so to speak.
Yeah. Now, the chat is already there's a person in here who said more greed from WotC. No. WotC isn't any greedier than any other company that makes a product that it sells.
Okay, that's
They
fair.
know that there's a market out there, and their recent attempts to please that market have been horrendous failures. See 2 of the last 3 Mythic editions. Yeah.
Well, they did sell a lot of them, so I don't know that we can necessarily call them a failure. There were
Okay,
complaints.
they were a horrendous failure from the point of view of the consumer.
Oh, absolutely, sure, yeah. Demand far outstripped supply, and there's no indication necessarily that that's going to change at all, because while draft boosters and theme boosters are things that, yeah, they'll just print them till they stop, collector boosters are still going to be a limited print run. Which
Let's
means
see
your
here.
supply is still going to be limited.
Yep.
Now, someone in the chat also mentioned, hey, do you remember, who was it? It was, I want to say Gloppy Bricks? Gloppy Rocks. There it is. Do you remember the Shards of Alara premium booster packs? The all foil Alara booster packs. And yeah, this is kind of that crossed with Mythic Edition, crossed with, I don't know, something.
It is a product that is aiming at people that want to have cool, different stuff, not aiming at people who want the cards strictly to play.
Yeah.
Right. And if there were cards, if the only thing different about the cards in these packs and other packs were how blingy they were, I would have absolutely zero problem with any of it. Absolutely zero is what I'll say.
All right. So,
however,
let's get into the nitty-gritty before Cluze howevers.
Sure.
So let's go. Your draft booster. This is what you know and love. You get a rare or a mythic, 3 uncommons, 10 commons, a land, and an ad or a token. Right?
Ta-da.
Same thing we always knew about.
It's a booster. A booster is a booster is a booster.
Nothing has changed.
Yes. We're all fine here. How are you? Theme booster. You get 35 cards and a reference card. What the hell is a reference card? New player information.
Yeah.
So it's that's again, this is targeted at casual
This
players.
is your onboarding.
So this is like here, did you know this? And you get 1.1 rares or mythic rares, which means every theme booster has 1. Some 1 in every 10 has 2. Okay? And then you get 33 to 34 commons and uncommons. There you go.
Until they added the 1.1, I'm like, oh yeah, that seems fine. But then they added the 1.1 and it felt just a tiny bit loot boxy to me. But
you're buying sealed product of mystery content.
Yeah, they're rares. It's not like there's anything super special.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can get 3 mythics, I've been told. Don't worry.
Start that again.
Also, we have no indication yet what, and yes, 10th Deck Priest, I do know that all boosters are loot boxes. I do know that. We have no indication yet what a theme booster is going to sell for, do we? Does anyone happen to know, chat, by the way, does anyone happen to know what the Guilds of Ravnica theme boosters, the guild boosters, what were those going for? Because I have no idea.
I don't think, were those like this? Were they this big?
I don't know.
I never actually bought any.
I never interacted with one, so.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Do note that it is 33 to 34 common/uncommons. It will not always be the same breakdown on that front either. You're getting a pile of bulk cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's a pile of cards, but at least they're all red.
Don't sweat it too much.
Okay, so we've got anything from $5.50 to $8 in the chat. So
okay,
some amount. Now
cool.
The collector booster.
Yep, here it is.
This is where all the insanity happens. Okay, so here we go. There are 15 cards and 1 foil token. Hey,
Nice.
you get foil tokens in the collector boosters. Okay,
Can we get foil tokens anywhere else?
No, get a collector booster.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Besides, your tokens will just curl if they're foil, so it's fine. Now, you get 1 rare or mythic rare with extended art. So you get 1 extended art rare. You get 1 foil rare or mythic rare. Okay. You get 9 foil commons and uncommons. Okay. So that's 9. That's 11 cards. 3 special frame cards, either showcase or borderless planeswalkers. All right. 1 ancillary card, more on that in a minute, and 1 foil token. So these are all pretty self-explanatory, except for the ancillary card.
Yeah.
So let's just go down to that. This slot is for new cards that are connected to the set but don't appear in draft boosters. So the first thing that comes to mind is buy a box promo. Correct. The card pool for this slot can vary from set to set. For Throne of Eldraine, this will be the buy a box card. The new cards from the Planeswalker decks, you remember those? Planeswalker decks? They come with the Planeswalker deck, Planeswalker, and some specific cards?
Yeah, they're the ones that come with the bad planeswalkers.
Yeah. And the new cards from the Brawl decks, which we'll get to that later too. And so this slot is going to be the catch-all for mechanically unique cards associated with the set, allowing collectors to get them here without having to purchase other products or participate in other promos. These cards will be in non-foil. These cards will be in non-foil. So if they do another Simic Nexus, there will be non-foil versions floating around out there, so it's fine.
Wait, do you mean Nexus of Fate?
Sorry, yeah, Simic Nexus is the deck.
Correct.
Yeah, but if, like, my statement still stands, if they do another Simic Nexus, which is a deck named after a Buy-a-Box promo that only exists in foil and cause problems with, judges and tournaments, then...
I was going to say, look, don't blame the judges. It's a problem with, the tournaments.
So yeah, this is a place to get those cards not shiny, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So, Vincent says the buy box is already in non-foil now. Nope, that is not the case. That only happened once. Was that M20 or was that Modern Horizons? Why am I asking you guys? You don't know. Chat, was that M20 or was that Modern Horizons? There was one of those where...
Apparently it was just Modern Horizons.
Ah, okay. So, yeah, Modern Horizons is the one where the buy box promo was not foil. What about M20? I don't even remember what the buy box was for M20.
Just the normal one.
Is it shiny? Okay.
I know the one from the Magic Endgame, effectively, was shiny only because it was the variant Tezzeret.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. There you go. So, there will be all kinds of stuff going on in this. So, you get foil, commons and uncommons, a foil rare mythic, extended art, the special frame stuff, one non-foil something or other, and then a foil token. So this is the collector boosters where you go to get the fancy schmancy stuff.
Yes.
So if fancy schmancy stuff does not appeal to you, like it doesn't to me,
Yeah.
There's no reason to ever buy a collector booster ever. So you're not being forced to buy anything. So don't go saying stuff like that.
So here we start to see the edges of what makes me, I'm not going to say upset or angry, just uncomfortable. Okay, some stuff that I'm not super happy with. Like, if the rest of this article existed and we just cut out the chunks that talked about this booster, I'd be fine with it. Okay, be totally fine. I would be totally on board. I would be
Cluze, please get to the point.
all of this.
What is it specifically?
Squee's not feeling well, so I'm just trying to, fill.
You do not have to fill in. I
Yeah, we
promise.
have so much
People
to
will
talk
benefit
about.
from it being shorter.
Yeah.
Damn it. Okay. My concern is fragmentation. It's the same concern that I've had on multiple occasions that I had back when there were cards that were in the true intro decks, not the things called intro decks, but the little 30 card starter decks that they gave you, that there were cards that were in standard that were not in the set. Okay. The cards that are going to be in these boosters, the collector boosters, these cards are going to be standard legal. So there will be cards that appear in these boosters that you could not get in a normal draft booster that will be legal in standard. And that level of fragmentation is, I would describe it as more of dilution than anything else. Now, it's possible that none of those cards will be standard playable, and that's fine. That's something that we've had before. I mean, we had the whole problem with the buy a box promo of always being in just foil, but it never mattered because that card sucked and no one played it in standard until they did, and then we had problems, right? So there's going to be cards here. And it was mentioned tangentially, and we haven't gotten to that discussion yet about the stuff for Brawl, because there will be some Brawl decks coming soon. There will be cards that are made for Brawl that are standard legal that you can only get in two places. The pre-con Brawl decks, and here in these collector boosters. And that's where I start to have problems with this. Because, I mean, first of all, Magic is a complicated game. Always has been a complicated game. Absolutely true. The idea of standard is a level of complexity that we have bolted on top of that, right? So I go, let's say my mom goes to the store and she's going to buy me, because she knows I like to play Magic. She's going to buy me something for Magic. Oh, here, I bought this thing for you, and brings it home. Okay, well, hopefully, if I'm lucky, fingers crossed, this thing actually is currently in standard, because we're assuming in this particular example that I'm a standard player. So we're assuming that my mom did not go to a store where they still had boosters for, I don't know, new Phyrexia lying around. So let's start there. But now, not only does it matter what set it's from, but did my mom pick up a collector booster or a theme booster or a draft booster? What exactly did this relative of mine pick up? Now, I'm not saying that this is a huge problem that everyone's going to have, but if you want the elevator pitch, if someone is brand new and you're trying to explain to them how to get the cards they need to actually play in standard, now what do you tell them?
Go to
tell
a
them
card
to
shop
go-
and buy singles.
I was going to say the correct answer is you go and you buy singles, but it's added another layer of complexity to the standard rotation puzzle that, I'm not saying that this is backbreaking. I'm not saying that this is a huge problem, but anytime they do this sort of thing, it makes me uncomfortable.
Are you
And
bothered by this philosophically or practically?
Philosophically, I mean, it
Okay.
may come up. It may come up practically. I don't know yet. I don't know what's going to be in these
Because
Brawl cards.
from the practical standpoint, the person who's getting into Magic can go and get the booster packs, or they can get the theme packs and be perfectly fine for playing their cards in a standard tournament. And when they want to go more in depth and learning more about what's there, at that point they start running into these corner cases. But by that point, they're invested enough that they can figure it out, is my view on it. Like, I understand that it's adding a niche corner case and that you hate those, because like the same things that made you want to be a judge are the ones of wanting there to be order and things to make sense. And every time you add an exception, it messes with you.
Except,
Right.
I
But
want to add, this isn't adding any of that. All of this crap that Cluze is philosophically objecting to have been in the game for literal years. This actually
I
is helping
to it
that
all
because it's adding another place to find all that crap.
But I objected to it all along.
You did, which means this isn't new.
It's
If
a
anything,
dilution
the
of
collector
concept.
booster is helping to alleviate that because you can get that stuff in boosters.
A certain kind of booster. Where can I get these boosters, and how much do they cost?
That
Because
isn't
I
part of the
probably
discussion just yet. We don't
Because I
know. There aren't
probably can't
MSRPs.
buy a collector booster at Target. At least, God, I hope not.
So, if you care about these niche cards and you are building a deck that would need these niche cards, you're probably reaching the point in your Magic career where you understand the value of buying singles.
Or at least you should. Otherwise,
Or this is
exactly who
teaching
Wizard
people
wants.
that you should buy singles, because if you are buying, telling you now, if you're buying booster packs of any variety with hopes of getting very specific cards, stop.
Yeah, you're doing it.
You're
wrong.
gambling. If you're just opening packs to get cards and you're going to be happy getting cards, open packs, get cards. That's cool. When you start aiming for specific cards, you should buy singles. That's the difference. And this is how you learn. Like,
Fair. But look, I didn't want it to all sound like sunshine and roses. This is my problem with it. It is philosophical. I do recognize I may be completely in the minority on this, but
Which
it,
you are,
it
yeah.
does.
well, it's something that bothers you,
Well,
and that makes
thank
sense.
you for that.
Yeah.
It
I
is-
get
I
that.
mean,
It
I
is something
agree
that
with
bothers.
you to some extent that I don't like that the what's legal and standard is sort of all over the place. But for the purposes of that discussion, this booster is the opposite of making it worse. It's making it better. Because now the buy a box promo you can get here. The crap from other things that cost more
Okay,
you can
do,
get
do
here.
you remember? Do you remember when a certain card that shouldn't exist, True Name Nemesis, was printed in a Commander Precon?
Yeah.
And it quickly became, I'm not going to call it a legacy staple, but an important legacy card.
Yeah.
And that one Commander deck became incredibly more expensive than all of the other Commander decks
Yeah.
in that set. My concern is we're now running that same risk with Standard, right?
I don't
There
think
are
it's the same.
well, but the other, okay, so set aside the collector booster for just 1 second, because
Okay.
that's going to be a limited print run and it's very expensive. Okay. Compared to a regular booster, you're talking like a factor of 5 price difference here. Okay. So set it aside for just a second. There will be cards printed in the Brawl decks that we haven't even gotten to that will be standard legal, and there could be another mistake like that. Suddenly there's a card that is, I'm not going to say devastating, but warping the standard scene. And the only way to get it are the Brawl deck that it comes in, or one of these collector boosters where you're just rolling the dice with your $20. Conceptually, that bothers me. Philosophically, that bothers me.
Or
It
you
may
buy
not be a
singles.
problem. They may have, well, yes, that is what you should be doing. Yes. You know that, and I know that, but we've been doing this for years. Of course we know that.
Yeah, but the point is, you're never going to learn until they put something like that in front of you. This is the one, like, if anything, this is better because you're not buying booster box upon booster box hoping you open that one format warping.
Yeah,
thing.
but we
You know
could also
exactly what you're buying.
we could also just not do that, right? That is
Well,
that
you could
that,
not buy it,
well,
yeah.
that used to be a possibility. It used to be that, oh, we just have boosters. It's either in this booster or it's not. But now it's which booster? Which kind of booster is it in? And again, that just layers another level of complexity on
If
top.
you're at the
I
point
don't
where
like.
you want a specific card that you know exists, you're invested enough to figure out which booster it's at.
Yeah.
You should be. Yes.
Yeah,
I
you
agree
will
with
be.
that.
This is how you learn.
Yeah. That
Or-
is how
or-
this works.
Or we could not do this. Right? Or at least we used to be able to, but they've taken that out of our hands.
What?
There wouldn't be a thing to learn if they didn't do this.
Yeah,
Right.
you would continue to open box after box trying to get mythic rare.
No, I would still buy the damn singles.
Yeah, but the
But my
hypothetical
point
person
is-
you're talking about.
They have now made a way to have. My objection is philosophical and has been noted. Continue.
Well, it's like I do think that it's worth noting that you're creating a scenario where a person is invested enough to want to have a specific card, but not invested enough to buy it. And I don't think that's a place. And that's why I think that I understand completely not liking the complexity of this, but there have always been cards that were hard to acquire. That's the basis of it. And this is just a different way to get some of them. Like, personally, I'm more annoyed by the buy a box ones. And this introducing more of them into circulation, especially if they're not foil, is making an existing problem better for me. And if they screw up and they manage to put the best card ever in a brawl thing, they're going to print more of those.
Well, let's take that example. Okay, here's how I would fix the buy a box promo issue. Don't make the buy a box promo a unique card. Make it a unique art variant of a card that already exists in the set.
That's what they did for
like
years.
they used to.
Yeah.
I think that was better philosophically.
Sure. And
it's not like they didn't sell boosters then.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm not going to pretend that they're not doing this to make more money. I just don't think it's as big of a problem as you do.
Yeah.
But
Did
I mean, like I said,
at any point say that this is a horrible problem that's going to kill Magic?
no, we have different values on this one, which is why you're more upset about it than I am. I'm not saying that either of us is right or wrong, but I'm acknowledging the entire reason I asked if this was philosophical was entirely because, like, you don't think this is going to actively hurt Magic.
No, I don't think
you just
that
don't
little
like
Timmy
that they're doing
is going
this.
to cry himself to sleep because he keeps cracking open these collector boosters and not getting the card he wants. Because if that's what he's doing, he's a dumbass and should just go online and buy the single he needs.
Because if he can afford to buy several collector boosters,
Because if he can buy several
he can buy the
collector,
single.
he could totally just go buy the single, even at some stupid marked up price. So, yeah. Everybody okay over there?
Ow!
You,
I may or may not have slammed my elbow into the corner of my desk, and it hurt very much bad.
yeah, rule number 1. It's similar to I did not care philosophically for the Mythic Edition concept because I thought they were horribly overpriced for what they were doing.
Sure.
I feel like the whole collector's booster kind of falls very much into that same category, that it's like stupidly expensive.
Sure.
I mean, at least all of the cards, like functionally the cards, not the look, not the treatment, but functionally the cards, all of the cards, I think, with the exception of foil tokens, you can find in some other product in some other way. It may be very limited which products you can find them in, but at least you can find them somewhere else.
Yes.
And that that part of it philosophically I'm fine with. Although they are kind of jerks for sticking only foil tokens, or for foil tokens only being in these collector boosters.
Are you bothered by the fact that a lot of those cards and their other forms are out of print, so that this is now the only way you can buy new ones? Or are you okay with the secondary market enabling those cards?
I'm totally if I understand your question, I'm totally okay with the secondary market.
Okay. Like, I only say that because I think that this is going to be the same kind of boat. Like, they'll sell out of these. You'll buy them on the secondary market anyway. These are limited print run, just like anything else that's run in the cards. There are less of them. That's how rarity works.
Yeah, I mean, it in a sense, it is artificial scarcity taken to its logical extreme. Right, because it's not like they couldn't print more of these cards. They can. They've merely chosen not to, because then they can charge a premium for it.
Well, yeah, it's the same as having a limited print run on the Mythic Edition, which we said they did on purpose to make it more special.
They did.
It's the same. I'm pretty sure this is replacing the Mythic Edition thing.
God,
entirely.
I hope so.
That would make the most sense, given they blatantly were doing the Mythic Edition to try out cool new card frames.
Yeah.
So
Cluze,
like,
would you rather them still do ridiculous crap like the Mythic Edition and all of that, or the collector booster that has all that stuff in it?
I would rather have the collector booster, but I wouldn't make it the way they did. but that they didn't
Okay.
ask me. So
That's fair. Like, I get it.
yeah, I actually, this is going to sound really weird, and I feel bad for saying this. I actually preferred conceptually the Alara Premium booster to what the Collector booster is.
Because the Alara Premium Booster was entirely foils that you could get out of normal packs.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because I want
There was
standard...
nothing unique to them. They were just cool. I got to open 15 foils.
Yes, they were blingy, and I have no problem with blingy. I like
Sure.
blingy. I just want standard to be easy to explain conceptually, not, oh, also these 20 cards that you can only get over there.
I mean, okay, going back to your elevator pitch,
Yeah.
those 20 cards will never, ever, ever matter in standard, except for that one time that Nexus of Fate
same
happened.
damn thing about buy a box promos.
Yeah, like I said, except for that one time that Nexus of Fate happened, which costs, what does Nexus of Fate cost?
I don't know. It's a blue card. I don't care.
Well, if you don't care,
I
then
will
shut
say
the-
that I was fundamentally annoyed.
There's no
by that.
swearing on Monday Night Magic.
Look, I remember being very annoyed about this. I remember being on my own soapbox about it. I also acknowledged, a year later after seeing it, that I was definitely reacting because I was philosophically against it more so than practically, because as we've observed, anyone who wanted Nexus of Fate could get it.
Yeah.
There were enough Nexus of Fates around to make them available. People were able to play with them. Eventually,
with a proxy issued by a judge, sure.
There were enough of them around for people to play with, and people who wanted them could find them, and there were a lot of them in circulation. So in practice, it wasn't actually an issue. I didn't like the fact that you can only get them that way because I was feeling entitled to being able to open any card I wanted out of a pack, and that's just not actually how it works now.
Yeah, remember, almost all of the outrage about Nexus of Fate becoming huge and there's only one way to get it was manufactured by people that were just pissy. Because there were more of those at the time that people were complaining. There were more of those in circulation than there were of any other single mythic in that set.
I think if I'd realized how many of them were in circulation up front and taken a moment to think about it, I wouldn't have been as upset. But it didn't occur to me just how many of them were out there by comparison to other mythics.
Yeah, which we didn't know at the time because WotC didn't tell us numbers until it was a thing.
Until
I think
everyone was upset and they
Rasmussen
had
said it.
Yeah.
Also, as a counter to my own anger and vitriol, I think that chances are WotC has learned their lessons from True Name Nemesis and Nexus of Fate, and that they are unlikely to repeat those sorts of mistakes.
I think there's another thing that we can look at with this, and the fact that that ancillary card can be whatever they want, can be a relief valve. In the event that something in one of these becomes super important, they could just put it in the next set's slot there. This is a thing they can do.
I'll also note that both of those mistakes were blue.
Well, nearly every mistake in the history of Magic is blue. It's because it's the thing that breaks the rules. It's just how it's going to happen. But in the terms of this, I see this as something that they can use to get things out the same way that pre-con decks served that function for years too.
In conclusion, ban Island. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I think that we've dug into this. We'll find out more. We'll probably have some opinions when we see prices, but honestly, the go-to knowledge that everyone who's into Magic enough to hear this should have is, if you want the fun experience of opening a pack and seeing what random stuff is in it, buy a pack. If you want specific cards for a specific deck, don't gamble, buy the cards. Even if they feel they cost too much, they cost whatever they cost.
Yeah, and it's still cheaper than the other way you're going to do it. And in the end, it's probably going to be fine.
Yeah, those prices are determined based on how hard it is to get the card you want. So you're not going to get ahead if you open a bunch of packs trying to get there. You might be lucky at the beginning. Long term, you lose money. So stop gambling.
Okay. So now that we're past all of that,
Planeswalker decks.
Planeswalker decks are back. You know them already. Whatever. Brawl decks are also a thing because Gavin still works for Wizards of the Coast, which means he refuses to let Brawl just die because Brawl did die. But now they're going to resurrect it.
With a -1/-1 count.
I was going to say, there appear to be a lot of... No. There appear to be a vocal minority of people out there who really like Brawl.
Yes, they
And
are
this is
both
great for
vocal
them.
and a minority.
Yeah.
So we've got 4 Brawl decks. They're 60 card decks, and they're gonna have 7 cards in each deck that are new. Now,
And
not
standard legal.
so that doesn't mean there are 28 cards. I think there are 20 new cards in Brawl. Is the thing?
Yeah,
that came...
I want to say 20 is the number that was thrown out.
Yeah, so there'll be cards that are. They're going to be commander cards. We know what we say. What that means when you say commander cards. They're going to be commander cards.
Yeah.
And,
They're going to be niche and cool, but not competitively priced.
Yeah. Or
Mana-wise.
they're going to be like the Mana Rock and not even functional outside of Brawl and Commander.
Yeah, that's true too.
Which we'll get to that shortly, but there you go. So but these are, as Cluze said, going to be standard legal, and you can get them in Brawl decks and in collector packs.
Yeah. I mean, statistically speaking, they're going to be standard legal in the same way that the Planeswalkers in the Planeswalker decks were standard legal, but you would never play them in standard.
Yes.
So
This is to alleviate that problem that Cluze had before, where someone buys you a thing that says Eldraine on it, and you want to play it in your standard deck.
yeah.
You can. You probably shouldn't, but you can.
Unless there's been an emergency banning, but that's a story for Sender.
Or
That is
unless
taking
the
out a
sun went
10-year-old
nova and
mistake.
killed us all. But,
Hopefully soon.
So, finally, I think, not finally, we still have the bundle, but now in the bundle you get a promo card. The promo card is a card from the set with alternate art in a normal frame. So it's an old school alternate art promo. Remember those?
Yay.
They used to do those. Cluze misses those days.
I do miss those days, but I do have a question about this product.
Okay.
Okay, there are some things about this product I absolutely love. One is the 20 foil basic lands. I think that's great because you know how I feel about lands. But the thing I'm confused about is why 10 draft boosters?
That's price point.
Yeah,
Is it
they've
just-
been changing. This used to be the fat pack, and they've
Yeah.
been changing the number and contents of things that are in the fat pack.
Those have been creeping up since it
Constantly.
was 5.
Yeah.
I mean, I can get multiples of 3 makes sense to me, but 10 just
It's
sounds like
probably because they
some
want to sell
suit-
these for like $40.
Yeah, I was gonna say some suit somewhere said 10's a round number, and it makes the
Like,
MSRP, which we're not gonna say out loud because we don't do that anymore, make sense.
so the thing that you have to remember for these is that their main job is to live on big box shelves,
Yeah.
and they have to earn that space.
Now remember, Cluze, just because they're called draft boosters doesn't mean they're just for drafting.
I know that, but I mean 10 is a number that doesn't make any sense for any kind of a limited environment that you're.
No,
limited
it's
in.
not for that. It's
No,
entirely
that-
because
it's
they have to
to
cost
have-
$40.
Yeah, it's to have boosters to open.
Yeah.
That's what you buy fat pack. I mean bundles for.
Yeah. If you want weird, a long time ago, these things had books in them.
That is true.
They
yeah.
did, and I miss those days.
I do not, because the books were almost uniformly bad.
Yes, but I like bad literature.
Well, there you go then. Hey, look, there's a little more scrolling.
Cluze is just determined to be the devil's advocate here for everything. And
Look,
then the promo packs,
We're
which are
having
the
a
things.
discussion. It was great.
The promo packs, which are the things that stores get to hand out as rewards. So remember, this is the foil stamped rare or mythic from the set, the foil stamped curated rare from a select group of cards from older sets, the FNM promo, and one arena promo card, which gets you a booster pack. Now, neat. So instead of getting FNM promos or whatever, stores get these and they give them out for whatever the hell they want to.
Right.
These started with Core 2020. This is not new. Okay? Okay. Are we done yet? Oh my god. All right.
No, we're
No,
not
keep
done.
going,
There's at
buddy.
least 2 more
So
important
the
things.
buy a box promo is still a brand new card that's not in the set and a collector booster. But remember, this brand new foil card that's not in the set, you can get now in collector boosters. So hey, it's possible to
Right,
get 2
it's not-
copies of it because
it's
the
not in
buy
the
a box
set.
promo for specifically this set, you get the card and 1 collector booster.
It's not in the set, but it is in the set.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you referenced last hour of conversation.
Correct.
And a half.
Yeah.
It hasn't
So-
been that long. was like an hour.
Spotlight card.
And then,
Yeah, hey, spotlight card.
yeah, finally something neat. Back in the day, there was a thing called the Invitational. And whoever won the Invitational would get to design a card, and then they would have their likeness on it. These feature such big hits as Snapcaster Mage, Avalanche Riders,
Dark Confidant.
Dark Confidant, Sylvan Safekeeper,
Meddling Mage.
Meddling Mage, Solemn Simulacrum,
Yep.
and a couple more that
Yeah, there were a lot.
weren't big enough. So, but they don't do the Invitational anymore. Not that Invitational, anyway. And they don't let players design cards. But
That's
See
reasonable.
also all those cards we just talked about.
some of those cards we just talked about. But starting with Throne of Eldraine, the current world champion will be depicted, as it were, in a new player spotlight card. So, 2018 world champion Javier Dominguez will be featured on a Throne of Eldraine card, and this is awesome
I'm glad they're bringing
Yes.
this.
because,
Absolutely, hands down, awesome.
like, quick, just the two of you. Do you know who won back-to-back world championships? Okay,
Dude,
while
I
they
don't
don't
even
know,
know
chat,
Cluze's real name.
do you know? Without looking it up. Oh, there we go. I am the dork. Got it. Shahar Shenhar won 2 world championships in a row. And lots of people just don't know that.
Correct.
Because, as we
Including
pointed
me.
out earlier, the vast majority of Magic players are casuals.
Right.
I mean, the 3 of us fall in that category.
Yeah, I
As
do
far as
not
playing
actually
Magic.
care who wins the tournament once we are done mispronouncing their name.
Exactly. But this is a really sweet way to make winning the World Championship matter for more than the paycheck and the invite to next year's Worlds. Like, this is really big. And I'm very happy that they're doing this.
You too can get your art on a card and then later see them reprint that card with different art.
It could happen.
Yeah.
Just
Unless
become world
you're
champion.
Kai Buddha, in which case then they will reprint it with better art, but with you still on it.
That was nice.
Yeah. And then hiccups.
But that's cool. Like, that'll be a fun thing to look forward to. And I like that they're doing that.
And hey, Brew182 is now following. Thank you. Welcome to the pool.
Nice.
So yeah, that is this article. Now, on Twitter, who is this person?
If I may, before we move
Sure.
on from this article. So remember, at the beginning of all this nonsense, like an hour ago, we said that the whole point of what we're doing here, of what they're doing here, is how can we make tabletop Magic even better? These were the answers they came up with, and overall, my philosophical objections aside, I think it's actually pretty good. Right? I mean, if you want surprise and agency, they've given you different kinds of boosters to buy and neat things to open in those boosters. I don't think they're trying to kill Magic, or at least not paper Magic, at least not yet.
Yeah. So, as I was saying, this person on Twitter, Quincognito_, made a handy-dandy little chart to explain what is in each booster.
Data.
Let's see if I swap to this one. Does that help? Nope, that cuts off the other end. All right, well, I don't have this framed properly, but you can see borderless planeswalkers in foil and non-foil and showcase cards and extended art cards. Buy a box and planes and all of the different flavors, and it's a simple yes or no for where you can get them. Now, just looking at this, it looks kind of god-awful, but it looks like, what did someone say in the comments? This looks like an Ubisoft pre-order bonus
chart. Yeah, it does.
Which, it's a Ubisoft, it turns out.
I don't know. It actually looks like I get something if I bought off of this.
Aww. But I bring this up specifically because it looks horribly overcomplicated, but remember, we have zero practical tactile experience with this just yet. This will all make sense, I'm sure, once we get a set or two under our belts. Then there will, on Twitter, there will be pedantry running rampant of, no, of course you can get the non-foils in this kind of booster. Psh, duh. So...
However, the need for a chart like this is exactly why I object to it philosophically.
I mean, sure.
I don't think you need the chart like this. So
yeah, I don't think there's a need for this chart.
The pack tells me what's in it when I look at it.
Yeah. But there you go. It's complicated. It's kind of a mess. It's kind of funny. And look, it actually extends past that. See, it goes all the way over to here.
Needs more pivot table.
But okay, so that's that. Now, Gavin Verhey has an article that went up yesterday about Brawl. Because he refuses to let Brawl die the death it so nobly deserves. So yeah, we get some cards. This is our first Throne of Eldraine cards, and they're Brawl cards, which means you will almost certainly never see these in Standard. Arcane Signet, for 2 mana, is an artifact that taps to add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. This card is gonna be like, sort of like the new Soul Ring, where every commander deck in the history of ever wants it.
I mean, every 3+ color commander deck, maybe. But, yeah.
I mean, this is still, for 2 mana, pretty much every commander deck that's not 1 color. Yeah. But, so that's a card. Where's the... Oh, and then there's this one. Which, well, wait, before we get to that, you'll notice on this card, the collector number is 331, not 331 over, like, 300 or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
Well, they were asked about that, and Aaron Forsyth said the main set cards have the denominator. Anything outside of the main set does not. So... you won't get, like he says, the 107 out of 100 thing. So if the collector number will be, you know, some number out of 300, let's say the set has 300 cards, I don't know. But anything 301 and above won't. So that just cleans up some confusion there. Which I like. Nope, no opinion from you two? Okay.
Yeah, okay, well, I mean...
I'm not really bothered by it either way.
I've already given my objections to things that are in the set, but not.
My opinion on all of this is that there's only been one point in all of history where the collector number has mattered, and that's when they were previewing Alara Reborn.
Ah, yes. All right. So, then we scroll down here. Oh, by the way, Brawl will be on Arena.
Yeah, that's kind of a biggie, I think.
This is going to be the reason that Brawl doesn't die, is because somebody finally decided they're going to put it on Arena. So 1v1 Brawl is going to be on Arena coming soon.
Yeah, so in fact, the whole reason that I will one day try Brawl is this.
Yeah. So there you go. Also, apparently they're going to do a Brawl event in October at your local game stores. There you go. They're really pushing Brawl because they're sad that Brawl died.
Yeah, for realsies, you guys. Brawl.
Yeah. So here's our second card, Chulane, Teller of Tales. Wait, wrong button. There we go. For 2 and a Bant, green, white, blue. 2 and green, white, blue. It's a 2/4 human druid with vigilance and ridiculous abilities.
Yay.
Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. Then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield.
Not broken.
And then for 3 and tap, return target creature you control to its owner's hand. At least it taps to do that. At least it taps to do
Well,
that.
I mean, it would have to. Like, it actually has to.
At least it taps to do that. Nice.
So yeah. There you go. That's our first, our second card from Throne of Eldraine, and it's a busted commander. All right.
Yeah. Neat.
It's possible that this might actually see standard play, although I don't know. I'm apparently bad at judging. Well, creatures, that's usually easy to tell. So probably not.
I don't think that's gonna see standard play.
But in
so
Commander-
when it does, I'll call me out. But
in Commander and Brawl, yeah, this is really good.
yeah,
And there you go. Yeah, that's that.
Oh, also, if you're waiting for your Commander 2019 edition previews, that'll happen at Gen Con in August.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
stand by.
Yes, for God's sake, let us have a minute without freaking never-ending preview season, which we didn't,
Nope.
because
We
even though
didn't.
they didn't show any cards at SDCC, there's previews right there. So thanks,
Ta-da.
Gavin.
I like to think back to a week and a half ago when Gavin said they were going to give Commander time to breathe.
Yeah.
No, we won't dump Commander yet. We've got to talk about the core set, also the next set, and Commander, and changing booster pack.
Yeah. All right. Next up, hey, the Hasbro investors report thing, revenue report, whatever happened. Magic is up.
Monopoly.
Magic is up, and they're planning on exploiting it further, of course.
Play-Doh.
So, yeah, there you go.
Have some numbers that say Magic good. Go team.
Yeah, Magic's making all the money. Arena's making all the money, and they're gonna push people to spend more money on Magic and Arena.
And then
because
3
that's
months
what
they'll
they
say
do.
the same thing, and then 3 months after that they'll be like, "Well, it's down," because it's always down the first quarter.
Yeah.
This is a cycle.
All right, we good there?
Sure.
All right. Next up, hey, look, the Arena State of the Beta.
Hey.
They're doing a new event. Because you remember they did that. I don't remember what it was called.
The War of the Spark Spotlight event?
Chronicles. War of the Spark Chronicles,
Chronicles.
was the
Chronicles,
full name.
that's
Yeah. Well, now they're doing Planecation. Let's see. Events will start on Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific time and end
we
on the
mean this
following
coming
Tuesday.
Sunday, I believe.
What?
I believe we mean this coming Sunday for the first one, in fact.
I don't know. There's no date yet, but
Yeah, but I think there was a tweet about it, and I think it really does start this week.
okay. But it starts Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific time and ends the following Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time.
So yeah, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday,
Huh.
but only part of Tuesday. So it's basically Sunday and Monday. Are you at your computer for 2 days? If not, you're screwed. So if you're actually on vacation, this doesn't help you.
You'll earn rewards based on the number of wins, up to 6 wins for each event. And there's no entry fee. Boom, there you go.
Oh, and it doesn't matter how many times you lose. Just play till you get there.
Yeah.
So if you're playing against someone named Cluze, feel free to concede.
Let's see. Now, the Manipool Discord server pointed out that this paragraph was a little suspect. For those of you who participated in our War of the Spark Chronicles events, you'll notice a couple of key differences. For starters, we shortened both how long the event lasts and the number of wins required to earn all the rewards. We heard and saw that as each event and the Chronicles themselves continued, players began to burn themselves out and stop playing. Now, the Discord server pointed out that that a bunch of that every one of those of the Chronicles events got more complex as you went along. So you started with no deck, it was Momir.
Mm.
And then you went to like Singleton, I think. Cluze, you played these. Do you remember?
I know there was a Pauper event, and I think there was a Singleton event. I forget what the other one was.
And then there was just like standard without something, I think.
Yeah,
Maybe it
that
was full
sounds
I don't
right.
remember. But like and if I also remember correctly, people complained more about the meta for each step. So that the one that gave you counters on creatures and planeswalkers. Yeah, I heard a lot of people complaining about that one. So like you needed more and more complex decks to play in each one. So of course the one that requires no deck you just go in and play, more people are going to play for longer. So it could be that they're shaping the data to fit their goals rather than...
Here's what I'm going to say. Lessons were learned. They may not have been the correct lessons.
Could be. Yeah, the new event... is called Planecation, and you're gonna go to different planes and do stuff?
Yeah.
Presumably.
I like the idea of shortening the number of wins that you need to have. I don't like the idea of just how bloody short this is, because it's really just Sunday and Monday.
Right? Like, that seems...
Yeah, I mean, it's part of Tuesday too, but I mean, only until 11 a.m. Pacific. So like mid-afternoon on Tuesday. So if you have an actual job, we meant Sunday night and Sunday and Monday night.
Like you guys have any plans on Monday nights?
And on Monday night, you're supposed to be in the chat right here.
Yeah.
On twitch.tv/themanapool.
So yeah. Now it does say that if it says for those of you who get a little homesick, the event rewards will be purchasable for gold at a later date. So if you miss the event, you're not boned. And we'll never get them again. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they feel like people were burning out, then I feel like the better thing to do is just essentially give a point where it's not worth grinding anymore, and then give people more time to reach that point, because they're, as noted, creating the exact same problems. Now you have to grind on specific days, and those are days that are the worst days of the week for that. Like they say that Sundays apparently their most played day, which could be true. I don't know.
Well, that's also reset day, so I don't know that that's...
Well, it makes sense to start an event on reset day. It just should probably last more than 2 days. But
I'll also say that the main reason that there were 2 reasons why I didn't play the later events in the previous one. One was I was actually on vacation and did not have my laptop with me, so I was gone for a while.
oh, so they modeled this event after you.
The reward I wanted, which was the stained glass Chandra, happened in week 1, and the rest of them after that I didn't care about.
It's fair too.
I mean, at one point, I had worked with, so like 1 week it was like you get one thing at like 1 win and one thing at like 3 wins and then one thing it was like 3, 6, and 15 or whatever it was. But I got the one, and then the next one past that was a Jace stained glass thing, and I honestly did not give a damn.
I believe this story.
So,
well, whatever the case, they're doing this. If it doesn't work, they'll change it again. They've proven they're willing to.
yes. I like that they're doing neat things.
And they're doing even more. So they're adding in the basic land filter, by the way, so you can go in and pick your basic lands.
Yay.
So that's cool. But there are new events after that. The guild battle. Well, I guess that's what these are. I don't know. They're trying out 3 new events for the Chronicles. Guild battle, where you pick a guild event deck. Precons, which you don't get to keep. It's like, so if you ever played Hearthstone, it's like a tavern brawl that has a pre-constructed deck, and you just pick one. You don't get to keep those cards. You just play with them in the event.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what this is. This isn't fantastic technology. It's just, hey, here's a deck to play with. It's like borrowing a deck from a buddy, except the buddy is Arena. Okay? Okay.
Yeah.
It's not hard to understand, but some people were like, they're doing phantom events! I'm like, it's... Sure.
Kind of. It's sure, yeah.
Okay.
Look, there's a Boros deck. Shut the hell up. It's fine.
The standard shakeup is another thing they're doing, where they're banning certain cards for this standard shakeup event only. Nobody calm down. Nobody freak out. But there's a list of cards here that will just not be legal in this event. So, like, things like Nexus of Fate, and Teferi, and Hydrid Krasis, and Chain Whirler, and Arclight Phoenix, and Command the Dreadhorde. A bunch of just big, huge things that
that
you might get sick of.
I gotta say, that thing that killed you last time, yeah, they can't play with that.
Yeah.
Cluze. They've
Bad
banned
news
both
is-
Teferis.
Which I like that. I really do. I would say I'm sad that they banned Goblin Chain Whirler, but I get it. I am sad that they banned Light Up the Stage, because I kind of need that card. It's really good.
Look, sacrifices must be made if you're going to kill Teferi, Cluze.
Yeah.
Your only Steamkin, however, ran away.
And finally, the Landfall event. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, exile the top card of your library. If that card is a land card, put it into your hand. If it's a creature card, put it on the bottom of your library and get a 1/1 plant. And if it's a non-creature, non-land, you put that card on the bottom. Each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. That is an emblem that is always on in this Landfall event.
Oh, it says each opponent, so two-headed giant for this, confirmed.
Sure. Don't say stuff like that, Cluze. We're a news show.
It's not true. It's not
There
true.
you
I'm
go.
sorry. I'm sorry.
They're also finally making it so that you don't have to reinstall the entire goddamn game every time there's a patch.
Another thing
Finally.
you guys have to do.
Yeah, that's a thing you have to
Actually,
do.
it's a thing you have to do
Ew.
right now. Yeah.
Every patch involves completely reinstalling the game. Well, they're finally fixing that. Oh, look, it even says, or as you, the player, would probably label this section, finally. Yeah. Now, you'll have to reinstall the game for this July 25th update. But then after that, most things will just be a patch.
Most. No promises.
Yeah.
Beta.
And this is something that should have been, once it went into open beta, this should have been implemented, but, you know.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah. They're busy trying to figure out how to monetize the toy before making it a fun toy to play. It's like Wizards was possessed by Riot Games or something. And finally, you can download your log files for some reason.
So that we can look at whoever generates this file structure.
I don't know what you would want this for.
I need to know what's on their C drive, Chewie.
I guess. So there you go. That's the state of the beta. New event. Basic lane filter. And you don't need to reinstall every time there's a patch. Yay! So would you believe we've been going for almost an hour and 45 minutes, and now we get to talk about tournaments.
Yay!
Hey, let's speed run the tournaments. What do you say?
Well, we can't speed run it too hard because it's new standard.
Yeah, but
But it's new standard. You got to spend
Yeah,
45 minutes talking about your philosophical update. We have to talk about tournaments. So there
My
were
internet's
600 and
break it up.
what?
Gotta hang up.
There were 600. What is it? 615?
6:15.
615 people at Magic Fest Denver playing in the Grand Prix, which is really small.
Is it? I mean,
Like-
they are at altitude.
That, like, especially for Denver, that's really small. Like, this is horribly small. hang on. Let's go MTG Grand Prix attendance, because there is a Wikipedia for that.
Yeah, there is. I'm bringing it up now.
Like, okay, let's go to 2018. It is the where's this? Sydney.
There were 625 players in Denver in 2008 for block constructed.
Yeah. Like, this is one of the smallest American GPs in a very long time.
Holy crap. In 2015, there were 1497 in Denver. I'm just looking at the Denver events.
Ooh, where's this? Porto Alegre. There were 575 in 2017.
1568 in 2016.
Oh, wait, are you just looking for Denver?
Yeah, 1188 in 2017. 506 teams, or 1,518 players for Team Limited in October of 2018.
700 for Legacy in 2013 rather.
Yeah, this is small. Yeah.
Yeah, this is super tiny, and I don't know if it's because everyone's at home playing Arena, or because of all of the organized play changes over the years. People, because I know that, like, you see on Twitter, and I even hear people talking about it on the rare occasion that I go to a local game store or stick my head into the, like, Facebook group for local Magic players. People don't care about GPs anymore. And I think these attendance numbers here are kind of showing that. Look, 708 in Detroit just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, But anyway, I just thought I'd point that out. But hey, LSV won. The whole thing.
Which is great.
First place. Look at that. Wow.
At the last minute, he was originally going to be on I think it was Black White Vampires, and like the day before on Twitter, he's like, I'm kind of feeling Scape Shift. Anybody got any cards? And he pulled the deck together, and ta-da!
Yeah. So yeah, LSV1 playing the I think he's at the bottom here, the Bant Scape Shift deck, which uses Arboreal Grazer, which I find hilarious, and Elvish Rejuvenator and Hydrid Krasis, and Hiccups. You've got Teferi Time Raveler, because of course you do. Circuitous Root, Grow from the Ashes, Growth Spiral, Prison Realm, and Scape Shift. And then everything else is lands. And what is it that you're scape shifting? Well, it's Field of the Dead. Let's just... What did I click on? When it or another land enters the battlefield under your control, if you control 7 or more lands with different names, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Yeah. So you scape shift into a whole bunch of lands and some Fields of the Dead and have a giant army of 2/2s. At least as far as I can tell, that's all this deck is trying to really do.
Yeah, I believe it is. That's the goal.
Think I've missed any sort of cuteness.
I mean, I suppose you could beat them to death with Hydroid Krasis, but...
Well, I mean, but as far as the scape shift part of the deck.
Yeah, the goal is that.
Vincent pointed out you did it on your opponent's end step because of Teferi. Yep. Until your next turn, you may cast sorcery spells as though they had flash. Yeah, there's that.
Yeah, Teferi's kind of a bastard that way.
A little bit. So yeah, that's important. Who did he beat? Greg Keithley. These are not in order. Who's playing the Simic Nexus deck that we all know and love? Question mark?
Yeah,
We
take
know.
off the question mark. We don't love that.
Oh, okay.
We definitely know.
Let's see. In third and fourth, in no particular reason, Alan's son is on Bant Scape Shift.
I do like how Channel Fireball's system has. I'm sorry, I'm still back on that Simic Nexus deck. That Greg Keithley is playing 4X Nexus of Fate -foil -buy a box promo.
Yeah.
That's how you know.
It's linking to their card system.
And then
Wait till
Eric
they have the funnel of
Hawkins.
the variants.
All right, you two. Eric Hawkins is on Orzhov Vampires. Don't make me turn this van around because we're in a van. Did you know that?
I mean, that explains more than it doesn't.
The Orzhov Vampires deck that we have seen for the last couple weeks of New Standard.
Yeah.
This one is running Sanctum Seeker and lots of it because this one is, awesome. And then the rest of the top 8, in no particular order again, because if they don't care, I don't care. Jackson King is on Bant Scape Shift. Wrong link. Michael Cochran. Nope. Drew Stewart is on Just Guys Super Friends. With, let's see, Chandra Awakened Inferno, Karn, Narset, Sahili Sublime Artificer, Sarkon the Masterless, and 2 flavors of Teferi. Yeah, okay. That looks about normal. Dang it. Hunter Cochran is on the Boros Feather deck. So, Feather with a bunch of cool spells and various other things. Dang it, wrong button. And Chris, I cannot say his name. We're going to call him Chris Owen, son of Glowin, who is... No, wait, not son, because Owen and Glowin were brothers, right? Owen, brother of Glowin. Who's playing Bant Scape Shift also. How do you say this, his name?
Oh, I have no idea. You go ahead and
Oyen?
butcher that.
Oyen. Okay, I like that better, actually. Hopefully that's right.
It is now your name.
That is now your name. Sorry about that. There's an archetype breakdown. Thank goodness. It's in a tweet, of course. Let's see. Esper Hero was just over 10% of day 2. Bant Scape Shift was just under 10% of day 2, as was Orzhov Vampires. Boros Feather and Mono Red Aggro were at 10 apiece in number of decks. Mono Blue Aggro was at 8, and from there it drops off to 6 and below. And there's a bunch of them that made day 2. 113, in fact. So that's cool. In case you're wondering what you'll be seeing in the future, I would expect more Scape Shift.
Probably.
Because it just sort of popped up this week and destroyed everybody. Yeah.
I think players also really enjoy the, I got there, and then suddenly, blam, everything is over.
Yeah.
And it'll do that.
Whoops. Oh, right. There was another thing. Hey, going back to Magic Arena real quick, the Twitch Prime offer apparently ran out on the 22nd, but it was still being advertised in-game until the 25th. So, whoops. Apparently you could... You could get a code. If you didn't get a code yet from your Amazon Prime, then you could do a code redemption problem, and they'll send you one. Up until the 25th, which is today's the 23rd, and it's late. So, just saying. If you have Twitch Prime and meant to redeem that and didn't yet, you can still get it, but you have to do it like right now. Okay, so back to... I apparently closed the GP coverage.
Haha.
I love it when that happens. Is it this? Yeah, there we go. Let's take a quick jump and look at 9th through 16th. We've got more vampires, more Scape Shift. Golos Scape Shift. Nathan Holiday playing the Golos Scape Shift. That is Golos Tireless Pilgrim. This commander card.
Look at that Wooberg. Just look at it.
Yeah. and he said either in a deck tech or a tweet or an interview or something that any game that he activated Golos, he won.
I mean, I would hope so.
Golos says, for 2 and a Wooburg, exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play them this turn without paying their mana costs. So, you know. I think paying 7 to get 3 free spells is probably pretty good. It's probably pretty good.
Probably.
Yeah.
And he's also running Cavalier of Thorns with 3 green mana symbols in this
Sure.
deck with his Wooburg. Whew!
Well, Golos does fetch 2 of his colors.
That is true, yeah.
It doesn't say basic.
Let's see here. We've got more Scape Shift. Simic Flash in 13th. Sultai Scape Shift. This is running Vraska Casualties of War. And let's see. Massacre Girl. Oh, girl! And Voracious Hydra.
It's a really good card.
Voracious Hydra?
No. Massacre Girl.
Damn right. There's another Boros Feather, and there's another Vampires in 16th. So there you go. So that was Denver. Yay.
Hooray!
All right, so now let's go. Oh God, let's go to the Star City event. It was team limited, team constructed, which means each team was one
Hooray.
standard, one modern, one legacy. So we're just gonna run through the names on that.
Don't
Yeah.
care.
So how many people were in this?
There were 801 people spread over 267 teams.
Nice. So the winning
they,
team,
in fact, defeated the GP for attendance.
yeah. But hey, there's coverage there.
Yep.
Just saying. So the winning team was Corey. I don't know how to say. I've never heard his name said out loud. Baumeister? It's one of those. And on standard, playing John the Dinosaur. Shaheen Sarani in modern, playing Azorius Control. And Pete Ingram in Legacy, playing 4-color Delver. The second place team, Ben Ragan. One of those, playing Eldrazi in modern, Alex Rubin on 4-color Control in Legacy, and Nicholas Delval on Boros Feather in standard. Third place, Sam Lawrence on Simic Nexus in standard, Daniel Duffy on Humans in modern, and Joseph Horton on Teamer Delver in Legacy. And to round out the top 4, Sky Mason on Bantscape Shift in standard, Benjamin Riley on Pure Steel Paladin in modern.
Huh.
Whoa. And then Kenton, hang on. Wait. I've got something in this eye, and 2, every time I look at this guy's name, a different letter pops out. Hang on. Najzian. Something like that. I apologize as always. Playing Bomberman in Legacy. What the hell is Bomberman?
I think we've
I
asked
assume
this
you're looking
question
at me.
before.
I used to know.
Right. Yeah, this was... So it used to be called Bomberman because it was running the thing that you sacrifice to pay 1 to deal 2. Pirate Spellbomb.
Yeah.
But now it's just Walking Ballista because it's funnier. Did the Pure Steel Paladin deck play the new... hang on, let me go find it.
I hope so.
Doesn't look like it, no. No, because that costs 1. Why would it play that? The question was, is it playing the big-ass hammer thing? But no, the hammer costs 1. These all cost 0, which is why the deck works.
Yeah.
They have to cost 0 to be able to... like that.
That really hasn't changed, has it?
Do what?
Pure still doesn't really change.
Yeah, not since we got SRAM and... was it really just SRAM?
That's the only thing that was really added over time.
I think he's the one that made the deck become an actual thing.
I mean, yeah, like Pure Steel, way back when it was in Standard, was a somewhat different deck, given it didn't have all this crap.
But no, I mean the modern deck. It's been around as kind of a thing, but it took SRAM and basically SRAM to make it work.
Yeah. Well, SRAM is helpful like that.
Yeah. It does have an Eladamri's Call. Oh yeah, that's new. That was in Modern Horizons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which makes sense because you want to go get one of your 2 creatures that you don't have yet.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, moving on. So that's the team thing. Like I said, there's no real reason to look real hard at any meta in that because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So let's go to the Standard Classic. How many people were in that?
Standard Classic was 154.
Okay. So Kane Reinhardt. He's got a big hammer. One with
Reinhardt.
Bant mid-range. Ashford Smith in second is on the Bant Scape Shift. Jonathan Carter in third, Bant Scape Shift. Gavin Wen in fourth is on Mono Red Aggro.
I approve.
As is Aaron Barrich.
Still approve.
Fifth place. Douglas Schaub in sixth is on Esper mid-range. Collins Mullen on seventh on Bant mid-range. And Dylan Donegan in eighth on Jund Dinosaurs. Which
Hey,
still
I know
makes
both
me happy.
Collins and Dylan.
Look at you knowing people. Let's see. The rest of the top 16. Esper Control, Mono Blue Aggro.
Terrible.
Orzhov Vampires, Bant Midrange, Sultai Flash, more Mono Blue, Bant Scape Shift, and Bant Midrange. And that rounds out the top 16. Yay.
Mono
Hooray.
Blue Egg Roll.
Yeah. Don't eat that one.
No.
That one's bad for you.
That's not even a Dr. Seuss level thing. Just don't do it.
Wow, blue aggro.
How many people were at the Modern Classic Open Classic?
Obviously, a lot more because it's modern. You're at 277.
That is a lot more, yeah. Nick Urban won on Mono Red Phoenix. He beat Joe Ambrosio, who was on Mono Red Phoenix.
They were both ready to go home, and then they did.
Yeah. John Goss in third was on Grixis Urza. Oh, right, Urza, the card. Yeah, we've seen this deck. Okay. I was like, Grixis Urza? My brain filled in the word Tron, and I'm like, I don't know that one.
Urza didn't get a card until now, so yeah, fair.
Steven Borakov was on Counters Company in fourth. Tyler Allen in fifth played Burn. Tim Turner in sixth was on the Eldrazi Tron plan. Josh Pellerine or something like that played Jund to get seventh, and Andrew Lee rounded out the top 8 with more Burn. The rest of the top 16, Eldrazi Tron, Orzhov Eldrazi. Is it Phoenix? Probably. Grixis Urza, more Is it Phoenix? Goblins!
Way to go, Jim Davis. Way to go.
And then Dredge and Grixis Urza. Hang on, let's go look at this modern Goblins deck. Okay.
Yeah, that's where I am.
Crater Maker, yup. Matrons, of course.
Yeah.
Pile Drivers, Ringleaders, War Chiefs. A Mog Fanatic. Hey, remember that card? War Marshal, makes sense. Munitions Expert. Ah!
Rocket Shark.
Exactly. Siege Gang Commander, Skirk Prospector, Siege Gang Sling Gang Lieutenant, which is a thing that I was hoping would make some kind of splash, no pun intended. And Pashalik Mons.
Nice.
I'm gonna guess because it's funny.
I mean,
Also,
respect
Ether
all this
Vial and Tarfire because duh. Is there? Let's see, Mutavault, Field of Ruin. Yeah, there's Cavern of Souls. And Altus Hovel.
Got to put that in there.
Wow. All right. Ooh, there's Icon of Ancestry in the board. Holy crap.
Trash Master.
Along with a Chain Whirler, a Crater Maker, and a Trash Master.
The Trash Master.
And 4 Thoughtseize and 1 Warren Weirding all in the board. And
It's
2
a goblin.
Ravenous Trap. Look at this. This is crazy.
Yeah,
Also,
this
2
is-
Relic and 1 Grafdigger's Cage. Because screw you and your entire graveyard, apparently.
That's important.
I like that Pashalik Mons. That is not. Yeah, I like that a lot. I approve. This is a good deck.
Yeah, it was just pointed out that Sling Gang Lieutenant gets past Bridge from Below. Not Bridge from Below. Ensnaring Bridge. Bridge from Below is not legal anymore.
Everything gets past Bridge from Below.
Yeah. And Pashalik Mons is really great against board wipes. Because, okay, well, you kill my 10 goblins and you take 10. Nerd. So, yeah. Seems good.
Yep.
I like it. I especially like the new stuff. Making it in here. Munitions Expert. Yeah. Since you can't have... Crap. Gem Palm Incinerator. This is pretty good. It's not as broken. Isn't that right, Carso? Mm-hmm. Carso knows. He and I discussed this, actually, just not long ago.
Trash Master.
All right, so that was Modern, and now we're going to throw it over to Cluze for Legacy.
Hey, the Legacy Classic, where 159 players, more than standard, I might add, 159 players were there for the king of all formats, Legacy. Hey, I'm going to read off some names and some deck lists here, but before I do, gentlemen, can you do me a favor? Can you tell me what year it is?
Pretty
Like,
sure.
socially or calendar?
Like calendar-wise. Like,
My
what
computer
year is
says
it?
2019.
Okay, in first place, Alex Hahn is on Teamer Delver. In second place, Ed D'Amico is on Is It Delver.
Yes.
In third place, Tyler Anderson is on Is It Delver.
Yes, I already answered that.
Are you sure that it's 2019? Because it's nothing but Delver decks. This is killing me. In fourth place, David Weisenberg is on Mono Red Prison. The Mono Red I approve of. The Prison, Fifth place, Eric Bertlett is on Bomberman, as previously discussed. So if you'd like to see a Legacy Bomberman, a current Legacy Bomberman list, it's right there in all of its walking ballista glory. In sixth place, Brandon Klein is on Azorius Stoneblade, Matthew Volk with 4-color Loam, and in eighth place, Michael Coyle is on Mono Blue Urza, which sounds awful. Just
Yeah, this is
awful.
definitely the anti-Clues deck.
Yeah.
This is. I feel filthy just having this deck open.
Oh, let me
That's
close
how I
that then.
This is. Yeah, I'm just gonna close that and look at 9th through 16th if I could, please. We got some Storm. What do we think? Ant or Tess? Ant or Tess?
Oh, I didn't look. It is
Ant.
It is Ant. Yeah.
It is Ant. There we go. Is it Delver? Imperial Painter. Oh, look at that. Well, that's nice. Any new tech in the Imperial Painter deck?
Oh yeah, the painter was unbanned in Commander, so now it's people feel like they can play it in Legacy again without being shamed.
Karn,
Goblin
doesn't-
Engineer is new.
Oh, hey. You're right. Look at you. Yeah, okay, I can live with it. I can live with
Oh,
it.
and Arkham's Astrolabe, of course.
Mono Red Mill. Yes, Carso, that is in fact Mono Red Mill.